Hi everyone, welcome to the BVW Photon tutorial. Photon is a way for you to implement multiplayer networking in your game. Um, since this is a little long, I have divided this into three parts. In the first part, I only talk about how to set up Photon, like how do you get the plugin and how do you make sure that your app ID is correct. In the second part, I talk about the create and joining rooms and creating a matchmaking system. And then in the third part, I talk about gameplay and how you can implement gameplay. Now, since creating a multiplayer game is very hard, what I have done is that I've taken a demo that Photon created. It's called the Asteroids demo. And I try to show examples from the demo. And then I talk about like how they have implemented something. So in the first part, there's nothing, no coding. It's just because we are just setting stuff up. Um, so it's just a little bit of screen sharing and showing you like how do you make sure everything is correct. In the second part, which is the gameplay part, sorry, the second part is the connect and join rooms and matchmaking part. So in that one, there is some programming, and I am going to share my screen to do that. And in the third part, which is the gameplay part, now the thing with gameplay is that it can be most of the stuff that involves programming gameplay is something that you already know. So what I have done is that I have picked out some topics that you need to know in order to implement gameplay, and I have talked about those. And then I have found some examples in the demo, and I share those examples. So that's how this entire three-part tutorial is going to be. And let's get started. Okay, I'm on the Photon website, and this is an important thing that you should know. So there are two different types of connections that you can have with Photon. There's Photon Cloud and Photon Server. The difference between the two is that Photon server would mean that you have to control the server. And if, let's say, one of your computers is the server, then it needs to be active whenever the game needs to be played. This is not something that I would recommend. Don't go for Photon server. Use the Photon cloud. So if you know what software as a service means, Photon Cloud is software as a service. So Photon Cloud takes care of a lot of things for you. Um, and if you are going to use Photon server, then you need to be able to manage the server and handle incoming connections. And of course, you need to do the load balancing as well. So, in my opinion, go for Photon Cloud, where you don't need to worry about the server too much. You can just work on your game. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is grab Photon. So for this, you want to go to the asset store and get this one, Pun2-free. We are looking into whether we need to purchase Photon or not, but for now, I think you can just use this. You will have 20 concurrent users free, and that is quite a lot. So just click on add to my assets after you have logged in. Um, and once you have done that, you can come to Unity. You can go to package manager and you will find Pun here, which you can download and then import. I've already done this, so I won't be able to do it again. Um, Now, the important thing after you have done that is to set up Photon. So to do this, you can go to Photon Unity Networking, PUN Wizard, and it will show you these options. The important thing to do here is this one, locate Photon server settings. So you click on that and you will locate this asset um, file that has some settings over here. I'm going to delete this and I'm going to create a new app ID. So The app ID is a unique string that basically tells Photon that clients connecting using this app ID are supposed to join the same room or the same game. So the app ID is for Photon Cloud to know that which game is this connection from or for. So how do you get your app ID? To do this, you need to go to uh, the Photon website, which is just photonengine.com. You can even Google this, and then you click on sign in. Uh, so I'm going to sign in here. Okay. Okay. So once I've signed in, um, I can go to dashboard and I can go to your applications. Uh, don't worry about this. This is for a game that I created 2 years ago. What I want to do is I want to create a new app. I want to use Photon real time, which is correct, which is the default option. Application name BVW tutorial. I can include a description if I want, not necessary. URL same, not necessary. Create. Okay, so I see that my app has been created. I then go to manage, and here's my app ID. So I click over here and I can copy this. Uh, and then I can come into Unity and paste this. So this becomes extremely important when you are, let's say that you are two programmers and both of you have a version of the game on Unity. You won't be able to connect to each other unless this app ID is the same. So it's really important that you make sure that this app ID is the same across all versions of your game. The second thing that's important is this app version. Different versions of the app won't be able to connect to each other. So if you have a game and you have a version 1.0 and then you have version 1.1, both of these versions cannot connect to each other. So this app version, you can leave it blank if you want, but if you are like populating this field, then make sure that it has to be the same between two instances that want to connect to each other. Um, you can leave all of these settings as blank. Sorry for the abrupt end there. On rewatching the video, I've realized that what I'm going to say after that point is something that I've already said. So, in order to save you time, I'm cutting the video right there. And this is all for setting up Photon. And I guess I'll see you in part 2.